Hello, I am Leona Johnson and really happy to be here today to speak to you about connection and peace and growth. For those who don't know me, I am a ecotherapist. I'm based in the north of England and I am a life coach. The founder of the Life Compass Quest online life design program, and I am a nature connection facilitator. And I'm here and very happy to be here with my friend and co-facilitator, Looby Macnamara. Looby, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Leona. I'm really happy that we are reaching out into all corners of our global audience and connecting around the world and in collaboration with our different audiences here. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Macnamara. I'm based at Applewood Permaculture Centre in Herefordshire in the UK. I'm a permaculture teacher and co-founder of the Cultural Emergence project and author of Cultural Emergence and People in Permaculture and Seven Ways to Think Differently. Also part of the Mother Nature project, and yeah, really excited to be bringing cultural emergence in a book form and the seed deck form and courses, and that's where it's been really exciting to work with Leona and feel that presence that happens and that emergence that happens in relationship. One of the cultural emergence principles is emergence happens in relationship, and that's really yeah, really what we happens when we collaborate, isn't it, Leona? We've done several courses together now regularly, and over the years we've really built this sense of team and yeah, and collaboration with each other, which is yeah, really beautiful and rewarding for not just for us but everyone that's in the field with us. So yeah, it's been really lovely. So yeah, thanks for this conversation, and may it those that are listening, may it touch your heart and nourish you in ways and help you connect with your longing and your purpose and your sense of possibility.
Mm, I love that. Yes, we decided to record this conversation because Luby and I were meeting about two of the events that we are working on together this year, which one being the Peace course, stroke retreat, stroke training that's happening on the 18th to the 23rd of June at Applewood Permaculture Centre. And we're also co-facilitating, working together at the Nature Culture Connection Camp at Clophill Centre in Bedfordshire from the 4th to the 10th of August. And when we have conversations, there is a kind of, we always work to connect to what it is we are working to transmit, what it is that is in our lives that we enjoy about the work that we do and why we're doing it, in order to create the magic that happens when two people come together who are really wanting to bring inspiration and connection to the world. And we have great conversations, and it feels really good to share that here so that others can get a sense of what it is that cultural emergence is, what it is that the Eight Shields is, which is the model that underpins all of the work that we do in both camps. And because those are quite wordy in terminology, we thought it'd be really good to actually define what the Eight Shields actually is, so that people who want to work with us have a sense of what's behind, the layers of depth and wisdom and connection that's behind all that we design and create. Would you like to start with the Eight Shields, Luby?
Yeah, so Eight Shields is a model that's been developed by John Young over in the States with other people, and it is connecting us with natural cycles. So the daily cycles, seasonal cycles, yearly cycles, life cycles, plant cycles, or all these different cycles of life that when we start um, tuning into, they support us in our growth, in our development, in our connection, in taking responsibility in our embodiment. There is so many layers that they can support, and they support us with designing the life we want, really, and to start with I guess the assumption of that everyone would like to, in their ideal world, we'd all be more connected with nature, more connected with other people, more connected with ourselves. So I guess there is that assumption that is where we'd like to head to, and that is what they do. They bring us into connection in all those different ways, and can be used on different scales. So we've got these two very different events that we're running here. So we're running the Peace course, which will be here at my home, Applewood, and it's, we've got 20 acres of wilderness to explore, but then we've also got like the yurt to cozy up in and the barn, and so we've got some of the modern day creature comforts to hold us while having this really expansive wild space to be in, and a smaller group. So we'll be, like sort of under 20 of us here. So we really form this deep bonds with each other and really connect and feel like this community coming together for the week. And then we've got the connection camp, which is a much bigger event, and I've never been to Clophill, so I'd love to hear if you have, but it's going to be more like 150, 200 people, so it's like a real village feel, and like the elders and the children, and multiple layers and going on there. But it is the Eight Shields model that holds both of those experiences, that this intention to connect and to connect deeply, and to really settle our nervous systems so that we have this embodied sense of peace. And not only do we have that for the week, that we have this embodied sense of peace, but we also have the tools to be able to get to that embodied sense of peace again when we get home. And that's really critical, so that it's not just, as well as it being this incredible immersive experience, transformative experience when we're there, we also know how to do that for ourselves again and again and again, and weave it into our daily culture. So that's really exciting.
So exciting and so good and so true, that it's about the experience and the feeling of that in your nervous system. In my nervous system, I remember that feeling of after a few days of being outside in nature, and waking up together with a group, usually with a beautiful song, gathering, sharing intentions, setting the flow of the day. And this happens in both camps. But then being held in such a way that I can relax. So I'm learning and I'm relaxing at the same time. So I'm deepening my relationship to myself. I'm deepening my relationship to the natural world, which is so hard to do in everyday life because we're so busy and we don't often get that time. And I'm deepening my relationship to other humans who are also there with the shared intention of connection and healing and growth. And that's quite a unique experience. We are, I guess, if we're lucky, we've got good groups of friends that we've had experiences with, and sometimes we go to weddings and that, those kind of group gatherings where there's people we know and feel completely safe with. But what I love about both the Peace course and the Nature Culture Connection camp, which is very similar to the previous Art of Mentoring camps, is that it's held in this way with the Eight Shields that is specifically designed to create the optimum conditions for connection. And what I mean by that is there's just this level of shared culture that enables us to feel safe in order to just let go of a lot of the limiting beliefs and blockages that stop us from showing up fully with our own gifts and our own passions and our own true and full self. And that means there's space for grief, for where that isn't present in our everyday lives, and also space for reflection for where our everyday lives might need or want to change, and then space for reflection to start to dream in how that could look in our everyday life. What does it mean to live a more connected, nature connected, culturally aware life where we are consciously creating the world that we want to live in? Because it's, in the busyness of our work and school runs and parenting and all of the responsibilities that we have, we sometimes don't have the time to do that. And this is one of those both of them immersive experiences that create that. One of my favorite memories of the peace course is the moment when people set off for their nature quest. So there's a part in the peace course which where there's an option for people who are interested to spend the night sleeping out under the stars alone. And maybe people have done that before, maybe not, but to do it as a group where everybody leaves at the same time, and there's this sense of setting an intention and having that night with the stars and the other beings that might visit through the night, and then coming back all together at the same time when just after the sun rises, and just seeing everybody who have made that commitment and taken that courageous step to do something they don't normally do. And even if it's something they do normally do, to come back with curiosity and openness to what can be experienced in that time. It's such a it's such an amazing time. We both sleep out as well, don't we, Looby? And it's brilliant to have that opportunity to make time for that thing that we love, and we know that actually has a physiological effect as well as an emotional effect on the nervous system, and in a really deep way, like a deepening of the relationship to the other than human world.
It's amazing, isn't it? When people come back, they're just like glowing, and you can really feel the shift, on individuals, but also the collective shift as well of like, wow, that we did this and we've grown from it and we're ready now for something new, another layer to come in. And that's where, well, we won't reveal too much, but there are more layers and mystery and emergence and magic that come in after that, aren't there? And it's really gorgeous. But without revealing too much, though, I would love to read an appreciation that from someone from last year's Peace Course, because it's great to hear it and what happened for other people. So from someone here, rich, challenging, emptying and full, you've held me, sparked my fire, moved waters through me, the laughter pulsating on the breeze. You've met and supported my personal needs whilst holding it all. Your witnessing and flow has touched and shifted habitual parts of me that were tucked in the corners, velcroed there and set free, layers unfurling, the land, oh the land. Oh,
Wow, so beautiful.
so beautiful, and just, yeah, I mean, maybe we don't need to say any more because that's said so much, didn't it? But yeah, I love that we met on the first art of mentoring, and you've said there that
Not
we
our first art of mentoring.
offer. Yeah, sorry, yes. Thanks for that clarification. We met on both of our first experience of the art of mentoring, which wasn't the first ones or the first ones in the UK, but that's 2017, and yeah, as you said, the art of the connection camp is now the kind of the renaming, reforming of the art of mentoring experience. But one of my favourite moments from the art of mentoring experience that we were on was where we went off in our guild. So that's part of it, is that you have a guild experience where you connect with a smaller group within the larger group, and we're holding the nature culture guild together, and so we were in the same guild together, and we went off and we had someone was we were going to be catching crickets, and someone had a field guide, and we were going to be trying to identify these crickets, and and so we were doing this, but then we got really absorbed. There was someone's car parked there, and they had this windscreen, this dashboard with feathers and stones, and just like it was this nature altar in their dashboard. And we were suddenly all like so like curious and looking in and going, well, whose is it? And like and looking for clues in the car of like whose car it might be, and like you know, where did we recognize
Tracking the person.
exactly, tracking the person, tracking the feathers, and we were all, you know, like we were supposed to be in this like the southeast energy of like the motivating species, and like catching crickets was supposed to be like our childlike curiosity, but then we went off in this like childlike curiosity and this adventure into whose this car this might be, and we were all so filled and lit up. And instead of, I think it was Chris Holland that was with us, and instead of like going, no, no, we should be doing crickets, that's what we should be doing. It was just like, no, this is where the energy is. Let's go with this. Let's flow with this. And it was just, you know, such a beautiful moment. I think that was one of my favourite moments from the art mentoring experience, and that like connecting with our motivation and our curiosity, and just allowing that to be of like, okay, this is where the energy is. And I think that's what, you know, one of the things that I love about working with you is that we both have this sense of emergence, and like this sense of like spontaneity, and like where's the group's energy, where do we need to flow next, rather than what's on our plan. Is like, no, what wants to be birthed in this moment, what does the group want to just have a sit spot and lie down and relax for a while, or do we need an energizing song, or you know, what is it that we need, and being able to flow with that. And that's sort of quite, I think, quite a unique quality that we have individually, but then when we come together it's like even more pronounced and profound, and joyful as well in that, yeah, and
Yeah,
magical.
I love it. I love it because there's not many people who work so similarly to me. And I do feel sometimes for people who co-facilitate with me, because I do always have a plan, but I always do, you know, because I feel so connected through the practices to my body and to the sense of what needs to be felt in the group. I'm very flowy as well. And so yeah, it's brilliant that we can both do that. And although I am remembering a time last summer whenever we changed the plan so often that it was just like this soup of amazing sections of the plan that we wanted to fit in, but it was just like this hilarious dance of feeling in, well, we don't know that until we feel that, and it depends how they come back from that, and let's do this. And it just created this brilliant state of emergence, which was reflected in people's experience, I believe, which is brilliant. So I was going to share one of my experiences of the Scotland art of mentoring, because it feels like it's something that is going to be at all of the connection camps, and it's the singing. There was a moment at the end of the art of mentoring camp in Scotland where I saw some people gathering around the fire, and it was the last night, and I think we'd even had the ending circle, but there was this beautiful sound coming from the hearth fire, and I moved over and I sort of edged my way in, and there was people sat on the floor, and then people sat on little mini stools, and then people sat on benches, and then people stood behind, and in this big circle, there must have been about 60 people there. This really low hum that was which was gently moving in tone and quality, and it was evolving because of the group. Somebody was somewhat part of the group, part of the circle were holding a particular tone and flow, and then the side on the other side of the circle was starting to introduce a different quality, some words, and it became this delicious, alive creation of sound. It was like being in a cauldron of beauty. Everyone there had been together for a week. We'd experienced grief ceremonies, we'd experienced games, we'd experienced delicious food, we'd experienced sacred fires and poetry and playfulness and excellent guest speakers and lots of learning. And this was just like the culmination of it, like a pure embodiment. And if you didn't sing, it didn't matter. You could either hum along, or there was so many people that your own voice contributed but didn't affect the deliciousness of it. And for me, that was like a powerful movement created. It was, this is what we can be when we're together. Something organic, intuitive, responsive, alive, and connected, interconnected, all of these individuals, but this oneness that wasn't being guided by anyone. There was just this unity that had been created because of the week. And yeah, I think it's beautiful to be able to have a space to experience that in your life. And I go back to these camps to experience that over and again in various and different ways, because that's the intention of them and it works. And then I can go back into my own life and bring that in small ways to the way I parent, to the way I show up at my team meetings, to the way I am in my relationship. And that's, I think, what I would like to cultivate as my life's purpose, the opportunity for people to experience what it feels to be complete and whole and welcome wherever you are, because you've experienced this level and depth of peace. So yeah, I thought I'd love to express that in a way that feels that meets yeah, just my experience, but I know that from all the people who've shared with me their experience, it's a common outcome.
Yeah, and we have these two cultural emergence principles of receiving encouragement and giving encouragement, and that is what we're doing, isn't it? We're creating this field of encouragement, and within that field of encouragement, the connections between us flow, the connections with ourselves, and finding our own gifts, finding our own sense of purpose and belonging, and shining, that shining that can happen, that we talked about, of like, okay, with our, when people come back from their nature quest, but just that the glow of the fire, it's like the glow of the fire within, isn't it, that was sparked with that encouragement, that then allows each person within that guild, within that course, to give encouragement to each other, and then and to receive it from each other. And so it just builds and spirals, and suddenly, it's amazing how so many times people go, wow, this is just such an amazing group of people. And you're like, it is. And we've created the container for that amazingness to come out. That if we hadn't intentionally created that container, it might not have come out. And there might have been this interpersonal struggles, or this shyness, or this anxiety, social anxiety or something. But because we've created the container, that amazingness shines out within each of us, and that encouragement allows that.
Yeah, one of the things that I am really looking forward to about the Nature Culture Camp this year are that the guilds that are there, which are the different groups basically that you have the opportunity to be part of during the morning and afternoon sessions of each day. The rest of the camp is going to be held by community, what we call an acorn, which is the group of people who hold the energetic space and who hold the circles and help you know where you're supposed to be and what's being done, and play games with. But in the morning and afternoon sessions of each day, there are specific guilds, subjects, and it's really exciting, the different people who are coming together to create this team, like some of the best in the country, in their area. There's going to be an opportunity to really deepen into relationship with fire. There's going to be the Nature Connection and Nature Culture Guild, which Looby and I are holding. There's basketry. There's interspecies communication. There's soul work, and there are these each guild will be an opportunity for you to really deepen into a particular area, so that you're building a relationship to that skill, that modality, that theme within you, so that you leave with a real deepening. And through that, there's going to be storytelling and songs and music and wandering on the land and presentations and reflections and discussions and ceremonial times and core routines, and yeah, it's this real powerful coming together of a lot of brilliant minds who are really deliberately dedicating their lives to creating cultures of connection. So to have that opportunity is really powerful, and for me, it's a bit like getting my getting my connection culture fix, so that it will tend me through the autumn and the winter, so that I can do all the things that I need to do. And I love that. I love that we have this opportunity.
When I was hearing you speak, then I was getting very excited. I could feel it in my body that, like, oh, this is going to be good. I'm really, I could just feel that excitement. And one of the things that made me really excited was actually thinking that you've got these guilds, and you might be like, oh, I wish I could do that one, the fire one, and the basketry one, and the nature culture one. Oh no, it's like, which do I decide? But in some ways, like, all the guilds will be present, and so you will be, even if you're in one guild, you will be experiencing the other guilds, because you will be there, everyone will be coming together and sharing their insights from the day and their stories, and then you'll be like, oh, and so there'll be so many layers of being sparked off and enthused by the other guilds, as well as deeply immersed in the one you're in. And that feels yeah, really exciting to then be part of this community. And I think, we've got I think both experiences have the opportunity to be part of a bigger movement. So with the Peace Course, you're coming on the Peace Course, you're being connected with these other small, 20 people on the land here, but you're being part of this global cultural emergence movement. And there's the online space, community space, where you'll be able to share your experiences of being in person with the people that aren't here in person, but that have maybe come here before, or maybe will come here next year, or will be doing online courses or reading the book. So there's this opportunity to share more. And the same with the Connection Camp. It's like connected in with the Eight Shields community and that global community. So it's an opportunity to, it's like, so you get the experience in the week, then you get the ability to have the tools to make the difference in your own lives, and then you also get this being part of this global movement of change and this community of practice. And so how do we ripple that out even further? So it's like these these layers. I think this is the one of the key words from this conversation is the layers of connection and meaning and purpose that will arise from these experiences together. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just picked a card out which says tend to your own personal culture. And what I've experienced is the people who are joining us on the peace course, on the questing with fire programs that I run, for on the art of mentoring courses, are people who are tending to their own personal culture intentionally, becoming a conscious culture creator, and intentionally and consciously weeding out negative conditioning and bringing in more healthy habits so that we can become cross-pollinators between cultures. And I love it how some of the people who I met in the art of mentoring, well, we met at the art of mentoring back in 2017, and then who come to the peace course and then come to the questing with fire program that I run. They sort of go between one and the other and are bringing depth, and the depth of their own experiences from their own lives to each one. And it's just like growing this beautiful energy that is part of the world that I want to live in as we move forward. And I picked the other card that I picked while you were speaking was your body knows, you know. And I think I referred to it before. If something speaks to us, we usually get an initial response. We usually get well, for me, it's like a shiver. I get like this shiver of like, oh, I've got to pay attention to this. This is going to be something that has impact in one way or another. And I didn't used to know what that meant. I didn't used to have that body awareness. I didn't used to be able to listen to a no or a yes, and I didn't be able to, I didn't understand how it was to move difficult feelings or emotions through my body, or to be able to stay with things and feel that, and I guess in summary, if you're listening to this and any of it resonates, check in with your body. Like, what does it feel like? What are the words that we're saying? Do any of the words that we're saying resonate with you? Are you inspired? Do you feel like you need or want more of this in your life? Do you need to plug back in after taking some time out? Is there something that you need, that you think could be met by this? And if so, we would love to hear from you, and we'll send links. There will be links attached to this that are how to book onto either the Peace course or any of the other courses that the Applewood Permaculture Centre, how to work with me. And the next Questing with Fire program is in autumn, and that's another thing that people can connect with me through, a rite of passage for adults. And the Nature Culture Connection Camp, which is so rich in depth and quality of facilitator that it's definitely not to be missed if at all you can join us.
Yeah, I'm excited. That body knows. I was getting that feeling when you were talking about that, and just like through this, the excitement, and yeah, checking in with that and how that feels, and I'm excited. We're releasing this with your networks, with the Connection Matters podcast, and through Cultural Emergence, and like all these different networks that are flowing together. That is creating that there will be emergent properties from those connections. That is like, how do we really come together and resource each other and resource each other's networks and cultures that really grow, and that is the kind of the quantum leap of change that's needed, that is possible. And that's, so these experiences are feeding into this much bigger vision of possibilities and mission as well, that we have, that we share, that we also have our own identities around as well. So it's a really exciting time to be involved, and we will be doing this, year on as well. So if you're like, "Oh, I really, really want to come, but I can't make it this year," but that's fine. Just, hop on to our mailing list. We'll have links in there, and when people join the Cultural Emergence mailing list, you get the free Cultural Emergence Principles colouring book. So that's a really fun and easy way to start engaging with the cultural emergence principles, which we've been sharing here, and just, we'll tell us that you want to come next year, and then you'll be able to be the first that gets booked on when we fix the dates, which we will do soon. And yeah, I'm thinking maybe to read another one or two of these things, appreciations from last year, because I think they were just so beautiful. So Emma here shared, nature, flow, connection, head, heart, and knowing hold me to a more peaceful version of me. It's just so beautiful, isn't it? Just to think of this, like, how do we be more peaceful versions of who we are already? And another one here, to the Peace Course, I really appreciate the peace, nourishment, and empowerment that it has brought me. The days were well balanced, and there were more activities which increased my connectedness to self, others, and the natural world. It reached my expectations and beyond. I thank you all. And just another link into, because it was like about expectations here, and then another one here of no expectations. So much more than a course. I didn't know what to expect and why I came, but I have a deep knowing this is where I was meant to be. The unfolding will continue beyond this timeless space, and I continue along this pathless path with my soul planted in earth. I will carry the magic of Applewood with me. Thank you.
Oof. What can you say to that? Just amazing, and what a privilege to be involved in helping to create that. It's and I guess we all are whenever we participate in that. It happens because of what we do together, and yeah, super special.
It's super special, isn't it? And it's special, the magic between you and I, Leona. I would just like to, share this with everyone listening, because some people will know me and some people will know you. Some people will know both of us, which is a whole other entity of the facilitation team, the double L pair of like love and laughter, and what other L's do we have in there? Love, laughter, light,
Live,
alive,
live,
yeah.
yeah.
And it's so magical, and I just really love to, yeah, just really appreciate our joy in co-facilitation.
Thank you. Well, yeah, same. Whenever I think about 11 or 12 years ago when people in permaculture first came out, it was like my Bible, and I remember getting it and immediately facilitating a people in permaculture introduction weekend using the book, because that was my personal area of interest, and you'd managed to put into that everything that I thought was needed and was excited about and had been researching up until that point, and inspired me to do that. So then whenever we met and got to know each other and then decided to co-facilitate something together, it was very exciting for me, because you know your stuff. You've been creating and dreaming into this work for so long, and so then to be able to shine alongside you and do what we do together is living the dream. It's brilliant. I've created somehow this world where around me and in my reality, where I get to do the work with people who inspire me and help me to grow always, which is fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
really, I mean, like, just when you were talking then, I was getting goosebumps as well, because I was just thinking that how, like, yeah, so you were reading people in permaculture, and then you're working with me, and then I was really like, hearing about Eight Shields, and then I've been working with John Young and co-creating cultural emergence with him, and then now to kind of come full circle and be co-facilitating with you on the connection camp feels like this beautiful weaving, and as you say, this living the dream, which doesn't just happen by accident. It happens by design, and it happens with intention, and it happens with the practice, the bringing them into our personal cultures you shared there, and it happens with the relationship, with this collaboration and co-creation, and it's just, it's possible for other people. I think that's what I'd really like to share as this closing nugget, that if you have this vision for yourself that is more than where you are at the moment, and you would like support to grow that, to grow whatever those seeds of possibility are within you, we can support you in that. We can help you water those seeds of your gifts, water those seeds of intention and vision within you that will help them grow. And we can do that in the container of a community that is connected and supportive.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I really believe that inside each individual there is this gift that wants to shine, and it changes as well over time and depending on the environment that you're in, but with the right conditions, with the willingness to be courageous and sometimes step outside of your comfort zone, but with the openness to be able to receive and accept and be held, so that you can allow so that those conditions can allow you to start to germinate or even to thrive, depending on where you are in your journey, then yeah, I absolutely encourage you to find a way to connect with us in some way, or the other connection community, the Eight Shields and the cultural emergence that exists, because it's growing, it's thriving, it's being part of the world of change. And what does Charles Eisenstein call it? The more beautiful world our hearts know is possible.
Mm. Well, thank you everyone for listening. That was just so gorgeous to be in conversation with you again. And I really hope that this conversation has touched your hearts in some way, and it maybe inspires you to just go and sit and listen to the birds for a few minutes today, and just dream into what and think into what the seeds that you want to grow in your life.
Mm, yeah, absolutely. I think I'm definitely going to go. When I get off these calls, I feel all fizzy and wriggly and like excited and full of the aliveness that I love to cultivate. So I think I will definitely go and have a little sit outside and just set my intentions for the next phase, and and connect with my gratitude for life, which is immense and constantly changing and evolving, but very present in every moment, thankfully. So thank you, Looby. Thanks for sharing that magic, sharing this conversation. It's been really, yeah, quite impromptu and in our true form, magical.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.